1,400 miles away was Robert Wiedmaier, head chef and proprietor of Marcel's, his restaurant on Pennsylvania Avenue. Robert's been named Chef of the Year by the Restaurant Association in D.C. and holds many high honors around the world for the bold statements that he makes with his cuisine. And he'd invited me to watch him prepare one of his favorite dishes, wild pheasant. We are in the kitchen here with Robert Wiedmaier at his premier flagship restaurant, Marcel's, 2401 Pennsylvania Avenue here in Washington, D.C. I'm going to get the big guy loosened up here because he's got the wild bird. Yeah, oh, I can feel it. I can feel it. Feel the tension going out of it. Anyway, Robert, we've talked about this a little bit before we got here. I am fascinated to find out what you're going to do with this pheasant.
Well, you know, I love cooking wild game and especially birds. Birds are just one of my favorite things to cook. I mean, if it's pheasant, if it's squab, if it's quail, if it's partridge, I love it. I think it's a very wine-savvy bird. Sure. And when it's shot wild like this, you can't get any better like this because this bird was out in the wild feeding off, you know, its natural habitat. And you can't get any better than that, John.
Well, I was going to say, when we were there, Robert, they were in full swing harvest. And, you know, the corn around there just goes on forever, and obviously these birds are very well fed.
Right, so you can't get better than this, and that's why I love to hunt myself, and that's why you love to hunt, because you know what, you reap the benefits of being able to eat something really good for you.
It's much more healthy, and the habitat that it's in, when you go hunting, you not only have a great experience on the hunt, and but you get to relive it over a great meal.
But you know, one of the best things about hunting, as you know, is like you said, John, is like after the hunt, it's the stories after sitting around the table about how we had to wait, and then the birds came in, and then we got this.
And you missed.
And we missed, or John missed, or whatever.
Missed.
Or I shot that bird, and he didn't shoot that bird until the DNR walks up and says, oh no, who shot that bird? Right. Who shot that bird? So, yeah, let's get started here. So what we did is we took one of the birds, and we defeathered it.
Robert coined the term full circle chef, which means nothing goes to waste. But for our dish, we were only going to use the breast meat.
So then you have the carcass here. So again, we would chop this all up with that, and we'd make this phenomenal stock with all that.
Now, would you actually, I have to ask this question because the entrails are still there. That all goes into the stock?
No, okay. We will not use the intestines and all that stuff. That we will take that and discard that. What I would do with these bones is, again, I would soak these overnight in salted water to draw out any of the blood, and then I would chop them up very fine, and I would caramelize those bones to make the stock. And I would add my vegetables and so on to that.
Gotcha.
Okay, so now we have the breast here. Now we want to leave the skin on. Okay, because remember,
and you're taking out that wing bone.
I'm just taking off that wing bone.
That goes over there. Oh, wow.
So now we have these two beautiful breasts. But see how beautiful that breast is?
Well, you did a great job of it.
And then I'm going to put a little bit of salt on here. Now, we're not going to use too much salt because we're wrapping it in parma ham because that's got salt in there.
Correct.
Okay? So, before we wrap it, though, I'm going to sear these. So, right behind me, I have a pan. Ooh. And I'm going to use just a little bit of clarified butter. Now, you don't have to use clarified butter. You can also use olive oil if you want to use olive oil.
Don't go anywhere. It's only the end of the first half. More with Chef Wiedmaier right after this. Welcome back to Riggo on the Range. Let's get back to Chef Robert Wiedmaier's kitchen at Marcel's and let him finish his dish. Robert lightly pan-seared the pheasant breast and now has returned them to room temperature to rest. Perfect time for a sip of wine. I'm looking forward to this.
So, we'll actually use some of this in the sauce.
Oh,
so
excellent.
This is a Bourgogne. So, you know, this is a good table wine. It's not expensive. Just a nice, good Pinot Noir.
Perfect for what we want to do.
It's exactly what we need. So, now we got the birds like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shaved ham. Okay, and I'm just going to tuck this around these breasts. You don't feel like you can't like mold that parma ham around there. Okay, so now we have our pan still here. Okay, so now we're gonna add this back to this pan. It's not as hot. Okay, we're gonna put it back in here. With any wild game, it has very little fat into it. So, you know, we have the parma ham on here, and we got it in clarified butter. We got our thyme and garlic, but it's important what you call is what you nappe this over it too, to infuse the flavors some more. So if you want to do that,
I will.
You know, just kind of
So you can't really put too much, baste these too much.
No,
really.
you can't. So, you know, you're going to take this up to the oven, which we have set at 275 degrees, because we don't want to cook this really hard in a 500-degree oven, because if we do that, it's going to tense up like this. So we just want it to cook in there nice and slow and come up to temperature, so when we slice it, it's nice and moist and it's not dry. One of the big things about people have with pheasant is they say it's too dry, right? You hear it all the time, oh, it's too dry, it's too dry. So we don't want to do that. So let's take it up to the oven, put it in the oven. We're not going to have it in the oven long. It's only going to be in there like maybe 8 minutes.
With the pheasant in the oven, we had plenty of time to chop the rest of the ingredients for the wild mushroom Madeira sauce.
Shallots, garlic, thyme, 3 different types of mushrooms, Madeira, a little bit of cream, okay, and then chives. And then we're going to do a little bit more with pork, okay? I'm going to take this applewood smoked bacon, and I'm just going to cut little lardons like this. These are called lardons.
Lardons?
Or bacon strips.
I think I'll refer to them as bacon strips. Once again, that will be gone in about 10 minutes.
Lardon, okay?
That works.
So we have this here. Okay, voila. So now we have our pan here. I'm going to take a little bit of clarified butter. So we're just going to saute the shallots.
We're going to bring some heat up on that right now.
And I'm going to add the garlic in here now too. Okay.
Garlic usually cooks fairly quickly though, as opposed to onions or shallots, right?
Right. So you don't want to burn it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook it slowly, which you're going to call in French to suer. Okay, which means to sweat.
I'm still working on
it means to sweat like I'm sweating now.
Suer.
Like suer.
Suer. I like the sound of it.
To sweat.
Suey. Here, pig, 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 pig.
See, we're just letting that sweat. So we got all that good stuff in there. Now we're going to take our Madeira and we're going to add our Madeira to this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God, I got a whiff of that a second ago. There's so many things going on. You can get the bacon, you get the garlic, you get the shallots, the thyme. Right.
And then one thing in our minds we can't stop thinking about is we got those pheasants in the oven.
Have we got action here, Robert? Ooh.
Okay, so now those birds went in a 270-degree oven. Very slow. We had it in about 8-9 minutes, and we're gonna let it rest now. Okay.
Okay.
Because now we got our sauce. We got our sauce being prepared. In this pot here, I have the bird gloss. So, this has been birds from the pheasant, ducks, so on, reduced down with red wine. Okay. So I'm gonna add this in here. What we're gonna do from here is we're gonna saute our mushrooms, because after that cooks for a while, we're gonna strain that. And then we're gonna take all that bacon, shallots, and garlic out of it, because we just want the essence of this sauce now without that garnish. So Paul's bringing down me another pan. See, when you cook like this, John, you see how many pans you go through, and because it takes time, it takes love, it takes nurturing to do it right.
Right.
Okay, put these mushrooms in here. Okay, so now we're just gonna let this cook a little bit here.
Oh, wow.
Okay, you smell that?
The butter, the shallots, the mushrooms give off such a great bouquet.
And now we're gonna add in this nice, beautiful.
So this is the sauce
that we made. That's gonna accompany this bird.
that we ran through the chinois,
Right.
strained it out.
Now, we've got.
Now the cream is coming here sometime.
Now, but we're not gonna add much cream. We're gonna add so little bit of cream to this. We're just gonna add like that much cream. Okay. What I've made over here is I've made a little bit of what I call root vegetable puree. We have turnips, carrots, rutabagas in this. Okay. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this down
here.
Here
We begin presentation.
The best part is this, right, you guys? We've taken all that. We're putting this beautiful sauce around this. We're gonna go over it a little bit. You got those mushrooms. You got the parma ham. You got that celery puree underneath that. And we're gonna garnish it with a little bit of fresh thyme. Now,
Why can't I do this at home?
you can. Now you will be able to.
Robert, this looks fantastic, but there's one last test.
Oh yeah.
My fork, please.
We got a taste, huh?
Thank you.
We got a taste.
Oh God.
Now, it's moist, huh?
Oh God. That's the one thing I noticed right away.
Moist.
Very moist. It's perfect.
And all together with this glass of wine,
Oh, I almost forgot. How can I do that?
it's magic.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For your hospitality.
I love it. I love
and
doing
your
this.
expertise.
Thank you.
I thank you for watching this week. We'll see you next week, we hope. Until then, bon appetit.